Hi, welcome back to the discussion for 4.1, which was on exponential functions. There was a few questions asked in here. I realize I didn't post in the discussion board this section, so I'm not going to, but I'll do about half of the questions anyway. So let's jump into it. Question 4.1, number 6. We have a function, f of x equals, and it's 3 raised to the x minus 1. And that x minus 1 is the power, right? So x minus 1 is my exponent. And we're asked to find a few values. I'll find some of the more difficult ones, and they're all, none of them are easy, but and if you use a calculator, of course you're going to have to use a calculator, so we'll throw these into a calculator, but for example, we're asked to find f of 4.5. That's the very first one, which is to say that I have 3 to the 4.5 minus 1 power. I can work this power because it's like it's in its own set of parentheses. So this is the same as saying 3 to the 4.5 minus 1 is 3.5. Right? I don't know what 3 to the 3.5 is. I need a calculator to do that. Or I need calculus, but we're not there yet. So I'm going to throw this into a calculator, and I get 46.76537, and this goes on and on and on, but you're asked to round this to 3 decimal places, right? So 765, the next digit's not big enough to justify an increase, so this is then evaluated to be 46.765, and that's what I would put into my solution. Right? Another one, let's do f of pi. F of pi is 3 raised to the, and I'm going to get rid of this because I'm going to run into it, but give us some room here. F of pi is 3 raised to the, and pi is an infinitely long number. I don't need a ton of digits, but if you're using a calculator, you can just push your pi button if you have one. But this is 3 to the pi minus 1. Or if you're just going to evaluate it, kind of writing it by hand, that's 3 to the, pi is about 3.14159. You don't need a whole lot more digits than that, minus 1. Which is to say that this is 3 to the 2.141592764. And I can do that way, right? Or I can just simply take pi in the calculator or spit my, 8 to 8 digits, 3.141592766, yada, yada, yada. Subtract 1 from it, and then take 3 and raise it to that value. In either case, I should get somewhere around I get 10 point, kind of running off the screen it looks like here. .51476, and it goes on and on and on. Again, we're going to 3 digits. The next digit after that third digit, that 3 decimals that is, the next digit after my third decimal is big enough to justify an increase, so it's 10.515 is what I'm looking for, right? And then there's an f of e. Again, your calculator, if you bought a calculator for this course, if you're going on a calculus, you should have a calculator that has an e and a logarithm button in it. But if you're looking for f of e, that e is, I would go 3 to the e minus 1. A lot of your calculators, you'll have an e button, but then it'll expect you to put in some power, because usually it'll say e, like raised to the something, with this little caret, or simply just have e with, you know, some power expected. Just put 1, that's e to the 1 is just the e, and then you subtract that 1 in your calculator, right? If you don't like that, then know that e is that 2.78182818 number. So know this, e is about 2.718281828, and it goes on forever and never, doesn't repeat. Take away from the 1 from that, e minus 1 is 1.71828128, yada yada forever, right? And so 3 raised to that, 3 raised to the e minus 1 is 3 raised to the 1.71828118, blah blah blah. And so then I have threw that in my calculator, and this is approximately 6.604. And I just realized that I'm writing this way below where my screen is. Alright, just that. So this is about 6.604. And that's after I've rounded it to that 3rd place. So the rest of them, just try those. They shouldn't be terrible, but give the rest of those a shot. All right, let's look at number 7. Number 7 says sketch a graph of the function by making a table of values, writing the fractions using the slash sign. So I'm given a function f of x equals 4 to the x. And we're asked to evaluate a couple of things, f of negative 2, f of negative 1, f of 0, f of 1, and f of 2. Right. So I'll do a couple of these. I'm not going to do all of them just because I don't need them all. You can go through and find the values of these, but starting at, say, negative 2, f of negative 2 is simply 4 to the negative 2, which is 1 over 4 squared. If you take that negative exponent, throw it down in the denominator as a positive, and so that's 1 over 16. Right. The ones I really am interested in, this one that'll help me graph it, is f of 0, which is 4 to the 0, which is just 1. And then f of 1 is also going to be useful in this particular graph. You may not know this from the get-go. Do all of these, and then these two will actually be obvious when you go to see the graphs. But f of 1 is 4 to the 1, which is just 4, right? Which means I have a point of 0, 1, and a point of 1, 4. And so if I go to graph this thing by hand, I have a point of 0, 1, and 1, 4. I know it's an exponential, so it's going to come exponentially or asymptotically off of that x-axis and then just skyrocket up, and so my graph looks like that. It should be easy to pick it out. It'll be the only one below that has a point of 0, 1 and 1, 4 and has that shape. Okay. Let's look at number 8. Number 8, we have f of x equals 1/3 to the x. And again, it asks us to find some values like f of negative 2. F of negative 2 would be 1/3 raised to the negative 2, which would be the same thing as flipping 1/3 and having it just be 3 over 1, or just 3 to the 2, and that of course is 9. In this particular one, f of -1 is one of the more helpful ones for me because I get 1/3 to the -1, but that's just 3 to the 1 or just 3. So I have the point -1, 3. F of 0 would be 1/3 to the 0, which is just, anything to the 0 is just 1, except 0 itself. And so I have the point 0, 1, I have the point -1, 3. Those are the only two that I really need, You know, you can do the rest, you have to do the rest because it asks you to, but these two right here are going to help me decide which graph below, because I have the point, if x is 0, y is 1, that's that guy right there, my pivotal point, and then I have -1 and 3, and so I have that. I know this is exponential, I know it's decreasing because my value raised to the power, my base is less than 1, and so I end up having this, right? And again, it should be easy because there's only going to be one graph down there that has the point 0, 1 and -1, 3. Hopefully that was helpful. I apologize I didn't post the discussion board earlier, but that won't be graded. So just move on to the next one, but I will see you guys next time.